Good evening and welcome to this February 3rd birthday edition of EastCast. I'm Jason Lynch with Tracy A. Denton, and today we're both 18. This year's annual lip sync contest was held last Friday in the auditorium. A total of 14 acts competed, presenting music ranging from rap to hard rock to oldies. Placing third was the Grease medley of popular songs from the musical, highlighted by Heather Grubb as Sandy and her father and East chemistry teacher Mr. Grubb as Danny. The senior guys in their rap music montage placed second. And the winner of the contest? Aphrodisiac, a full-scale, full-costume medley of Jackson 5 hit songs with everything down to the afro hairstyle. Congratulations go out to all the acts who participated. Special thank yous to Chairperson Ari Cohen and the Cherry Hill West SGO officers who judged the contest. Lip Sync 1994 has a hard act to follow. The Senior Soloist Concert was held last night in the Vocal Room. 16 seniors displayed their talents in voice, piano, string, and brass music. Highlights included Sarah Braslow's rendition of Take It on the Chin for Me and My Girl, Eric Braverman and Eileen Caballo singing Sun and Moon for Miss Saigon, and Wendy Huang accompanying Jeff Kaufman on handbell. Congratulations, everybody, on a job well done.
There's a new sign at most trash dumps these days: no batteries required. That's because most batteries contain substances that are harmful to the environment. So what do? Send those batteries to school with your children to be placed in East's recycling bins and help save the environment. Previously, I had a chance to speak with the newly elected SGA officers from the election last week. We have Ernest Dale Duke, the publicity manager, Gary Ross, the vice president of activities, Neil Relosi, the president, and Brian Friedman, the vice president of affairs, and Michael Bridgeco, the secretary of the Treasury, could not be here today. Neil, tell us, what do you hope to accomplish when you become the student government president?
I think one thing that all of us addressed in our speeches is that we want to get more student involvement and bring the spirit back to East and the pride back to East. And what we'd like to say is put the student back in student government.
Thank you. And how do you hope to accomplish this, Gary?
I think the main thing we have to do is to make student government more accessible to each person, so it's easier for them to get involved. And we haven't really got together to discuss how we're going to do that just yet, but I'm sure by March 1st you'll see a difference.
And Brian, can you tell us how the five of you guys are personally going to work together to accomplish these goals?
Well, Tracy, we all are different people, but I think we can come together and have a very successful year.
Thank you, Brian. And Ernest, can you please tell us about the honor code that's being proposed for student government?
Yeah, we had a meeting in early January about the honor code, talking about the alcohol and drug petition that is supposed to be signed by some of the sports players, and we were thinking about doing it for the student government, and we felt that it would add to the integrity of the Student Government Association, and it's going to be finally voted on at the first meeting of February, rather.
Thanks, guys. This has been Tracy Denton for EastCast. EastCast will continue to bring you updates of the new legislation of the student government in the months to come.
A meeting on how to fill out the FAF and FAFSA forms was held for senior parents last Wednesday evening in Cafeteria 1. A representative from Stockton State College gave important advice for all those who are applying for financial aid from the college of their choice. If you are unable to attend this meeting, FAF and FAFSA forms may be picked up at the guidance office. Don't forget, the filing deadline is February 15th.
As everyone knows, you can't get blood from a stone, so we turn to you, our audience, to help someone in the community who needs blood. Please get your pens or pencils ready to copy down the phone number that will appear on your screen. As part of our community service, we are passing on this request for blood donors to assist a Woodcrest family in need of blood platelets. Blood type does not matter for platelets, so anyone may donate to help. The family is also in need of donors with O+ blood type. Please call Barb at 795-2022. That number once again is 795-2022. And with an update on sports this week, here's Ron Spitz.
Although it's not my birthday, the Cougar wrestling team got a big present this weekend with 3 wins in one day. The record is now an impressive 9-3. East beat Camden 42-28, Pennsauken 45-25, and Audubon 56-12. Winners were Jeff DeYoung, who had 3 pins, Achilles Alon, the twins of Martin and Andrew Jensen, and Adam Arluke. In a big upset, they beat number 11 ranked Eastern. The meet came down to the heavyweight match, and Aaron Schaffer secured the win for East by pinning his opponent. The final score was 27-24. The girls' basketball team, ranked 8th in the Inquirer's top 15, beat crosstown rival West 55-36 on Tuesday. Jill Marple had 19 points. Danielle Pulliams had 13 points in a 68-41 win against Overbrook on Thursday, and 14 points in a loss to Haddonfield on Sunday. Following the girls' big victory against West last week, Matt Leschner had a chance to speak with Coach Dan Fleming.
Here with head coach Dan Fleming. Coming into this game, West was hot with 11-game winning streak. How did that influence your players into this game?
I believe our players were ready. We have gotten confidence in the last 2 games. And out on the floor tonight, they proved that they can play with anybody. And I hope it just continues. We have to work harder each game from this point on. We haven't been in the playoffs for a number of years. We are in the playoffs now. Each game is important to improve upon, so I'm hoping that the girls realize this and we can execute when we get on the floor.
West, the team you're going to have to face one more time this year and possibly in the playoffs. How do you really think that you guys matched up against West today?
I believe we matched up pretty well. They're a tough group of kids. We've seen them for 3 years now. I think a few of them have played 4 years against us. So we know who they are. We know what we have to do, and we have to go out and execute. We had a little falter there in the third quarter. I didn't know whether we could recoup from it, but the girls came through again. They're the ones that have to go out in the court each time we play and execute. And as long as they're showing the confidence, I believe that we can get better with each game.
That must have been nice as a coach going in and leading most of the game. The closest lead they ever had it was 3 points in this game.
I'll take 15 to 20-point leads every quarter, anytime I can get it.
Coach Fleming, good luck. We'll see you at East when you play West, and good luck in the playoffs this year.
Thank you very much, Matt.
He also spoke to senior star Jill Marple.
Jill Marple, a senior in her last game season, really. You're going to see West one more time down the road. And what do you think about playing West one more time now?
Oh, I'm really psyched. I know they're going to be, really anxious to beat us. We beat their 11. We ended their 11 winning streak, and I think it'll be a little tough next time.
What do you guys think when you went into that timeout when West brought it pretty close back? They were within 3 at one point.
Well, I know that West, they're good. They're good with comebacks. In the past year, we've had leads with them, and they come back. So we were really afraid. We wanted to keep them.
I'm sure you guys have to be pretty happy with your season this year.
Yeah. It's going a lot better than we thought. Our first goal was just playoffs. Actually, wanted to be 500. And we're passing that already.
The boys team also beat West on Tuesday, 76-69. The team has been practicing with ex-76er Kenny Payne, and perhaps some of his brilliance has rubbed off on junior Brent Fisher, who scored 26 points. However, the team lost to Overbrook on Thursday and Lenape on Saturday, despite Fisher's 24 points and John Brand's 20. The boys swim team lost to Shawnee last Monday, 115-71. Despite wins by John Maslow, Andrew Grossman, Mark DeNick, and Lewis Haim. On a happier note, the girls' team, led by Robin Heitz's win in the 500 freestyle, beat Holy Cross on Tuesday by a score of 118-68. Well, that's all the sports for this week. Now back to you, Tracy.
That's it for the news tonight. Special thanks to our cameraman and editor, Mr. Gordon Hampson, our advisor, Mr. Keith Haynes, and to our student camera person this week, Matt Leschner. Thank you for joining Jason Lynch, Ron Spitz, and myself, Tracy Adetten, this evening. Stay tuned for East-West boys basketball, which follows the junior high school news. Jason, since this is our last birthday show, do you have a birthday gift for me?
As a matter of fact, Tracy, I'd like to give you a big kiss.
Oh.
Here you go.
Thank you. Tonight, we leave you with Ophelia, lip-syncing her favorite, Singin' in the Rain. Good night, Ophelia.
Good evening. Welcome to the West Report. I'm Dave Feldman.
And I'm Lindsay Melson. Congratulations to the class of '94 for choosing their junior prom song. After taking a preliminary survey and then narrowing the choices down by taking another survey, the majority of the class chose In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. The prom committee is busily working on the other areas of the upcoming prom on May 8th at the racetrack's Phoenix Room. Ticket sales are just around the corner, so stay tuned to Cable 18 for the next couple of weeks to find out when the sales begin.
The Asian Culture Club sponsored a trip to the Lotus Restaurant this past Saturday, January 30th. The trip was in celebration of the Chinese Lunar New Year, and 19 members of the Asian Culture Club went to this event.
Each year, the sophomore class sponsors a carnation sale as a fundraiser. What is the carnation sale? During all lunch periods from now until February 10th, faculty and students can send a carnation and a message to another faculty member or student just for $1. The carnations will be delivered the last day of school before Valentine's Day. By sending a carnation, it is an easy way to let your sweetheart or friend know you care. If you do not have a lunch, you may purchase carnations in E41 during homeroom. So remember your friend or your sweetheart by remembering your dollar for the annual carnation sale. Now here's Dave Morika with this week's sports.
In sports, the girls' basketball team lost 2 games last week and dropped to 11-3. The team lost to Cherry Hill East first, 55-36, and then on Thursday, they fell to Washington Township, 58-47. Janae Butler led the team with 14 and 12 points respectively. West is now 12th in South Jersey. The girls will play Bishop Eustace, Camden, and Deptford this week. Earlier today, I had a chance to interview with the girls' varsity basketball coach, G. McDonald, who recently won Courier Post Coach of the Week.
Thanks for being here today, Coach McDonald.
My pleasure, Dave.
I'd like to begin by congratulating you on receiving the Courier Post Girls Basketball Coach of the Week last week. I'd like to know how you account for the great amount of success your team is finding this season.
Well, we have 4 seniors starting, Dave, and they've played together for about 4 years, played in the summer leagues, and they're playing very well together.
Mm-hmm. All right. This is your 7th year of coaching.
Right.
Of all the teams you've coached in the past, would you say this one's the best?
I'd say this is the best team because the scoring is distributed among 4 or 5 players. I've had individual players who've had their 1,000 points, but overall, I'd say this is the best team I had.
Mm-hmm. Is there any players in particular that you'd like to mention as very key for the team's success?
Well, we're not really deep, and the first 5 starters are most important. Jania Butler, Chrissy Zhevnitsky, Joanna Elias, Donna Hind, and Allison Lane. And we have a little help from Melissa Majakis and Lindsay Ermy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much the people we go with.
Okay, thank you. What are your goals for the remainder of this season?
Well, I'd like to win the Olympic Conference. Washington Township is very tough, and we're already in the state tournament, so I'd like to go as far as we could.
Okay. It is said that this will be your last season, both as a coach and a teacher at West.
That's correct.
What is the reason for this?
Well, I've put in I started in March many years ago, and I have enough to get a pension, and I had to make a decision whether I was going to stay with LaSalle University as a baseball coach because they're going into a new league, and I couldn't combine both jobs as I have in the past. So with the help of my wife, I made that decision.
Okay, so you're going to continue coaching at baseball at LaSalle?
Yes.
All right, thanks a lot.
The boys' varsity basketball team lost to Cherry Hill East, Washington Township, and Pemberton last week. Anthony Succi, Anthony DeMichael, Mike Thiel, Chris Martini, and Pat Boyce all had strong weeks for West. The team plays Bishop Eustace and Camden this week. The boys' swim team beat Highland and West Deptford last week, but then they lost to Shawnee. Ian Holmes, Christian Amansi, Adam Ritchie, Chris Ergood, and Ken Landis continue to swim well for the team. The girls' swim team was idle last week. They'll finish their regular season against Holy Cross and Rancocas Valley this week. And then on Saturday, they'll participate in the South Jersey Coaches Invitational. The wrestling team lost 2 meets last week to Triton, 34-27, and the Highlands, 69-2. Chris Staniak, who's a sophomore, who wrestles in the 103-pound weight class, led the team with 2 victories. And finally, the bowling team will roll against Pennsauken Tech and Bishop Eustace this week. Well, that's all the sports concerning West. I neglect to mention that I was incorrect about last week's Super Bowl. I still believe that the Dallas Cowboys are not 35 points stronger than the Buffalo Bills, but nonetheless, I was incorrect, and I'm sorry for that. Well, that's all the sports. Now back to the West Report.
Class rings will be on sale February 4th and 5th, this Thursday and Friday. Rings can be ordered during all lunch periods. A deposit of $50 in cash or money order is required. The Asian Culture Club is hosting the Best of West volleyball tournament. This tournament will take place this Friday night, February 5th at 7 p.m. in the Walsh Gym. The cost is $2 per person, and there will be a prize for the best team. There will also be an open court for anyone who is not on the team but still wishes to play. The Chess Club will be sponsoring its annual Best of West chess tournament beginning Thursday, February 9th and continuing Tuesday, February 16th and Thursday, February 18th. Any student of West may participate. Trophies will be awarded to the top 3 players, and a special newcomer trophy will be awarded to the first-year player with the best record. The site will be E15 and E16, and the tournament will begin by 2:50.
Nature Defense members have been working diligently on the elementary school program. In March, a select group of students will go to various elementary schools to teach 5th graders about trees, wildlife, water, and recycling. Also, there will be a general Nature Defense meeting on Thursday with a representative from Sierra Club. Busy students once again are rushing to finish last-minute work as the marking period ends tomorrow. And you know what that means. Report cards aren't far behind. Earlier, Dave Hanman had a chance to ask students what their expectations for the 3rd marking period were.
So what do you guys plan on doing with your second semester?
Well, I want to improve my English stuff. So I will be taking creative writing with Della Williams, who I already have for English. So I'll just be having one more class with her. And hopefully I'll improve my writing skills.
What do you plan on doing, Dave?
Well, I'm still keeping my same old courses, but I'm just going to try to maintain good grades, and that's about it.
So what do you plan on doing with your second semester?
Well, since I'm a senior, I'll probably slack off and read a nice copy of People.
Thanks, Bob. All right, Howie, the second marking period is over. It's the second semester. You're a senior. What do you plan on doing?
Well, the pressure is really off, so now it's just learning for learning's sake, just to better yourself. And I think that's what I'm going to do for the second semester.
I plan to work hard on the musical, The Lighting Crew, and it's going to be a really cool show.
Ben, it's the second semester. What do you plan on doing?
Well, because of the fact that I got into the university of my choice, the American University, I plan on just, not necessarily working my tail off, but just passing and getting good grades.
You have a lot of fun?
I'm going to have a lot of fun.
Great.
Now here's Brian Connors with reflections on Groundhog's Day.
Every year at the beginning of February, the people of the United States and Canada throw meteorology out the window and base the weather on a small brown rodent. That's right, it's Groundhog Day once again. What's the use of Groundhog Day, one may ask? Well, it's tradition, all right. The holiday dates back to medieval times in Europe, and it was brought from the people of Germany and England to America in the 1800s. The Europeans believed that Groundhog Day was a time for forecasting the weather for the next 6 weeks. According to legend, the groundhog awakens from his long winter sleep on February 2nd, and for those who weren't paying attention, that was yesterday. The groundhog sticks his head out of his home in the ground and looks around. If the sun is shining and the little furry guy can't see his shadow, he doesn't stick around to wait for a tan. He gets frightened and crawls back inside his hole. This is supposed to mean that there is 6 more weeks of winter coming. However, if the sky is cloudy and the curious hog cannot see his shadow, he stays outside for a while, indicating that spring weather will arrive soon. And by the way, this may come as a surprise to many people, but science has not confirmed this. This year, the groundhog, which is usually as accurate as Dave Marica's Super Bowl prediction, saw his shadow. So guess what, folks? That means there's 6 more weeks of winter coming. Those meteorologists don't know anything, do they?
Thank you for watching the West Report. Please join us again next week at this time. Stay tuned for the East-West boys basketball game following the junior school news. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, I'm Nick Coolis, and welcome to Carusi News. Last Thursday, the entire 8th grade packed into the girls' gym to have their picture taken. This tradition, which is only a few years old, is meant for the 8th grade to have fond memories of their past. The picture could be purchased by students and will also be hung up right outside the office. Next month at Carusi, Spirit Week starts. Here to tell you all about it is Zarit Avram.
Thanks, Nick.
Carusi's annual Spirit Week will take place during the first week of March. The hall's cafeteria and gym are being decorated as of the middle of January. The 7th grade hall will be D Wing, and the 8th grade hall will be B Wing. Good luck to the 8th grade, and may we go undefeated. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Reed. Now with Carusi Sports, here's Stacy Edelman.
Thanks, Nick. Last week, the Carusi athletic teams were involved in many exciting games. Here's Michelle Harp with 7th grade girls basketball.
Thanks, Stacy. On January 25th, the 7th grade girls basketball team beat Voorhees Middle School 20-6. Jackie Rispoli, Colleen Murray, Jessica Vernon, and Jamie Elias scored 4 points each. Chanel Sosiego and Joan Hornstein each scored a basket. Sarah Dunworth led the defense with 4 steals. Tina Butler, Elaine Bedden, Robin Schmidt, Joy Alexander, and Amy Gordon had fine defensive and offensive plays. On Friday, January 29th, the 7th grade team beat Collingswood 24-19. Jackie Rispoli had 8 points, Colleen Murray had 6, Jamie Elias and Jessica Vernon scored 4 points each. Amy Gordon made her first basket in this game. The entire team played well, coming from behind to win. Good luck, girls, as they continue their season.
Thanks, Michelle. And now reporting on 8th grade girls basketball is Diane Zibikowski.
On Monday, January 25th, the 8th grade girls basketball team won its 3rd game out of the last 4, when the Lady Mustangs defeated Voorhees by the score of 35-32. Christine Fee led all scorers once again, with 17 points in less than 15 minutes of playing time. However, when Carusi was closing in on Voorhees at the end of the game, 2 key baskets were scored, one by Lindsay Weiderman and one by Erica Schmidt, which sealed the victory. Michelle Beard played extremely well, scoring in all 4 quarters and led a trapping defense. Their next game was on Wednesday, January 27th. The girls lost to C.W. Lewis by the score of 20-8. They played strong defensively but had trouble scoring. Then on Friday, January 29th, the 8th grade girls lost to Collingswood with the score of 19-11. Without their leading scorer, the Lady Mustangs didn't have a good chance of winning, but Allison Stoner and Lindsay Weiderman had strong efforts throughout the game. Good luck to the girls on the rest of the season. Back to you, Stacy.
Now, here to take a look at the wrestling results from last week is Lindsay Weiderman.
The Carusi wrestling team had 3 wins last week. They defeated Hannonfield Junior School by the score of 90-12. They also won 55-28 against Washington Township Junior School. Scoring victories for Carusi were Matt Alamy, Jim Lupinetti, Jesse Palmer, Brian Gismonde, Dave McCafferty, Jeff Webb, Carl Foster, and Mike Young. Last Friday, the team defeated Haddon Township by a score of 51-46. Posting wins and improving their record 14-0 were team captains Jim Lupinetti and Brian Gismonde.
Thanks, Lindsay. Next up is 7th grade boys basketball with Dave Lazowski.
Thanks, Stacy. Last Monday, 7th grade boys basketball reserve team lost to Cullman by a score of 51-29. Ben Zucker led all scores with 8 points, and Isaac Munns added 6 points. Last Tuesday, Paul Donato, Quinn Tam, Tom Maloney, Charles Floyd, and Jose Santos led the Mustangs to their 5th win of the season by beating Haddon Township 57-13. Quinn Tam and Tom Maloney scored 20 points between them in the first quarter. Charles Floyd pulled 8 rebounds, and Paul Donato and Jose Santos continued their superb all-round performances. Last Friday, the Mustangs beat Collingswood 47-24. Charles Floyd played his best game by scoring 9 points and grabbing 13 rebounds. Tom Maloney scored 13 points and 6 steals. Monday, the boys lost to Orchard Valley, and today will play Beck at home. And now back to Stacy.
Thanks, Dave. Here's 8th grade boys basketball with Mark Septer.
The 8th grade boys basketball team played well last week. On Wednesday, Carusi decisively beat Haddon Township by a score of 57-33. 13 players played for Carusi, and 10 of them scored, led by Mark Bush with 10 points. Then, on Thursday, Carusi battled back to beat C.W. Lewis by a score of 43-42 after being down 16-4 in the first quarter. Finally, on Friday, Carusi extended its winning streak to 6 straight games, defeating Collingswood 50-33. Dave Schwastik led the scoring with 13 points. Ben Salerno had 12 points, including 10 of them in the second quarter. Unfortunately, the basketball team's winning streak came to an end Monday as they lost to Orchard Valley by a score of 40-34. Good luck to the boys tonight as they play against Beck here at Carusi.
Thanks, Mark. That's the sports for this week. And now back to Nick.
Thanks, Stacy. We'd like to thank our cameraman, Mr. Hampson, and our advisor, Mr. Gers. Thank you all for watching. Good night.